Hello, I'm Leah Emily's daughter, Adeline, and today is Take Your Daughter to Work Day. And also, Video Friday!
So today, in honor of Take Your Daughter to Work Day, we decided we would make this episode together, and it's all about work-life balance. To start us off, Adeline is going to answer a couple questions so that we can hear from the perspective of babes. Okay, so Adeline, what are some things that I do that help you feel important and that make it so I can spend time with you?
You don't work when I get home from school, and you don't work on Fridays or Saturdays or Sundays.
I work sometimes.
Well, sometimes on Friday, but she can't work at night because that's the time when family movie night starts.
Yes.
So she doesn't want to work at night.
Yes.
Fridays.
Okay, so what's it like having a photographer for a mom?
Little hard, because your mom's always like this. You didn't put on the right outfit!
Okay, so Adeline and I have come up with 5 tips that we feel can help you to get better work-life balance. Adeline, what's tip number 1?
Tip number 1 is set boundaries.
So what we mean by setting boundaries is that it's really important to make sure that your business is following rules that go along with the life that you want to lead. So for example, one of my business rules is that from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. on weeknights, there is no work that takes place. That way, when the kids come home from school, I am devoted to them and to their dad when he gets home from work until they're in bed. Okay, Adeline, what is tip number 2?
Tip number 2 is set your plan the night before.
Yes, so what we mean by this tip is that it is so important that you have an action plan already in your mind before you go to bed, so that when you get started in the morning, you're not spending those precious hours that you have started out by just trying to figure out what to do in the first place. So every night before I go to bed, I know what the top 3 to 5 things that I'm going to accomplish for the day is, and I don't ever try to do anything more on my list but those 5, because I know that the chances of me ever getting past number 5 is completely unrealistic.
Tip number 3 is schedule your family life first.
We think that it's really important that you schedule the things that you want to do as a family first. And we don't just mean the things that come home from school or from church. We also mean things that you just really want to get to do. Plan those things, schedule them in ahead of time so that you know they're going to happen, and so that work things don't keep coming up and making it so that month after month they never actually take place.
Tip number 4 is automate.
So what we mean by automating is we want you to take some of that brilliance from Ford and the assembly line and see how many things in your business that you do on a reoccurring basis that you can automate and make so that they have a structured process in place that is easy to plug in. A perfect example of this would be email scripts. So you very often write the same type of emails when you have a prospect client, but too often, how many people are going and feeling like, oh my gosh, what should I say? Even though that you've written these same kind of emails over and over and over. That's why email scripts are such a great tool where you can just plug in a response, customize it a little bit, and send it off.
Speaking of email scripts, there's up in the Gopher Pro shop.
Yes, there are.
Tip number 5 is schedule it.
So, we talked about scheduling your family first, but next it's important to actually schedule in time where you get to work on your business instead of in your business. So what we mean is that often we sit down and we work on what is urgent versus what is actually important. So we're answering emails, getting blog posts ready. Am I boring you? Getting blog posts ready, but these aren't things that are actually moving the vision of our business forward. Every Tuesday night is marketing night for me. So I actually have it scheduled in that from 8:15 p.m. on till whenever I go to bed, I get to work on my business and work on those visions I have for moving it forward to the direction that I want.
You said I could do it once.
Okay, so finally we have a bonus tip for you, which is just that very often you just gotta roll with it. When you have young kids, we can plan and schedule and prepare as much as possible. And it can seem brilliant, but there are always going to be things that come up, get in the way, and well, just make our work-life balance a little unbalanced. Thank you so much. I hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube page, and we will see you next week.
Bye!
See ya!
Let me just make sure her hair's right.
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Tip number 2.
You're not even on. She's playing games.
Going swimming.
Ah! You're gonna get fired.